Check. Okay, let's turn our Bible to Second Timothy chapter 1. Second Timothy chapter 1, verse 7 and verse 8. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Be not thou, therefore, ashamed of the testimony of our Lord, nor of me, his prisoner, but be thou partaker of the afflictions of the gospel according to the power of God. Here, this paragraph, especially this chapter, is talking about Christians and their ministry. Under that, these verses are mentioned. The verse 7, the powerful word here it is mentioned is God hath not given us. Many times we see that what God has given us. We are really great that when to hear that God has given us so many blessings. God has given us salvation. God has given us the spiritual blessings in heavenly places. We really remember those things very well. That's really great as a missionary, as a child of God. It is important to remember that what God has given us. But once in a while, it is also better to remember that what God has not given us also. So one of that, there can be many things. So one, according to this verse, he said is, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear." So why this word fear is mentioned? Because the world or the people in the world, whether it is believers or unbelievers, are really driven by the one thing that is fear. For unbelievers, it can be different about their life and their death and about their salvation. One day they may end up in hell. For the believers, it's all about life and then about the worries that daily life that brings into their life. They know that they have God, but still some kind of worries. But anyway, the fear, it really breaks down the person, will not have that enthusiasm or the great zeal to live. But here this verse is when we count in this verse, it is like a 1:4, 1:3. What he has not given us is one, that is fear. But the following was saying, sentence saying, but of power and of love and of sound mind. What God has given is three. What not God has given is one thing. What God has given us is three. So 1:3. That's really great to see that if one fear is really troubling a lot, but there are other things, three things which is really helping a person to live a life. That is, he has said, power, love, and a sound mind. Why God has to give us? And also, when we say that God has given us, many people really happy that when we say that God has given us, yes, God has given me the blessings. And when it comes to our ministry, people who understand the finished work of Christ and the grace-oriented life, positional truth, and we meditate on those all the terms that what has happened at the point of salvation. God has made me as an ambassador and the royal priesthood that I have, as a special citizen. I am citizen of heaven now. All these things will count really blessing. But sometimes we forget very few things. One of that what we forget is the responsibility of what he has made us. So the thing is, like, that is the reason he has explained it in verse 8. Why God has given us the seventh verse is it should be, there has to be some result. That is 8th verse. Why God has given us this love and sound mind and power is for this one. Therefore, be not thou therefore ashamed of the testimony of our Lord. For this main reason. This is the main reason. For what reason he has given us is for the testimony of our Lord. So our lives on this earth is not to live only for the sake of saying that yes, I am saved, and really the grace is really empowering me and enabling me. I am really enjoying my grace life. So it is like this: a royal family member, son of king. Now the prince can say that, hey, I have my kingdom. My dad is a king, and I have everything, every pleasure I can enjoy. That what I have. It's really great pleasure to live in that kind of motivation to live. But can he remain lifelong like that only? Can there be no any responsibilities that comes on his way as he grows? There comes some kind of responsibilities as a son for the king. Now he has some responsibility as the age grows. Now responsibility is to live as a king, to take care of that father's business or the responsibility. So here one of the responsibility as a believer also, yes, thank God we have saved, God has saved us in this grace life. Now very reason the God has saved us and again still kept us on this earth is to be as a testimony for our Lord. That is the main reason why God has given. So that is the reason again in Isaiah 43 verse 12 it says, you are my witness. God has told us, you are my witness, saith the Lord, that I am God. So why God has still kept us on this earth with this sound mind, with His love and with His power is to be as a testimony. Without these three, we cannot be as a testimony. With sound mind, with love, with power. Because we need to have a power. Because this world, we are human being, we are weak. We need power of God. And we need also love. God so loved the world, that is the reason He came to this world to save sinners. And the third thing is the sound mind. That means the mind which is filled with the doctrines, which means the mind of God. So that with that application, with the operation of that sound, with the sound mind, the person can be a great testimony for the Lord our God. So here by 43:12, that's why He said, Isaiah, you are my witness. God has told us. We are so glad to hear that, hey, you have royal citizenship, and you are my son. You are so and so, other blessings. When it comes to you are my witness, we may kind of like a little bit feel uncomfortable. When you say witness, that means I have to go and do something work that reminds us, right? So, but God says, I am your God, you are my witness. That's what the connection here is making is. If there is a God, there has to be witness. That is we only. God has made us in that way. That's the reason in 1 John 1:3, John said, that which we have seen, heard, and declare we unto you. So what we should give the testimony, or what reason, what is that we have to give? We as a witness is what we have seen, what we have heard, and what we have experienced in our life. We as a testimony for the Lord. If you are a saved person, we have a special privilege to be a witness for God. But John said, what we have seen. Thank God. But today, now we don't see Jesus literally or physically, but we have seen the works of God in our lives. How God has worked in our life. So same works what we are enjoying in our life, we experienced in our heart that God has saved us. Now we have a great witness of spirit saying that, hey, you are saved now. The same thing we can express that to ours. So when we say witness, God said, you are my witness. What is that witness? What is to be witness of? There are few things. Witness about God's love and justice. Witness about His character and nature. Witness about the work of Christ on the cross. Witness about God's goodness and severity also. Both the thing, goodness and severity. Because Romans 11:22 speaks about, when you speak about goodness, it has to come also the severity. So, in order to declare a witness about God, first we have to be a disciple also. That's the reason John said, what I have seen, what we have heard. First, he is a disciple of Jesus also. So that is the reason he can give that explanation. So meaning, first we have to taste and see, and we have to go through that afflictions. Because in 2 Timothy 8 verse also mentioned that the affliction word is mentioned. Be thou partaker of the affliction of the gospel according to the power of God. So there is afflictions are included when you want to be a witness. That's really great to see, because without afflictions, the person cannot be an effective witness. Because anybody can just go and speak anything that may not be great value. But when you go through something and you are really standing for it, for your, whether it is life and death case, you have to stand for your convictions, that has a great value. The great example for, in order to understand that, is David as a small boy. He knows that he is God, his God is a living God. He is serving great God. So now he wants to be a witness for God. That's the reason he did not care about the Goliath. He did not care about the death that is in front of him, that the great armor that other person is wearing. He did not worry about whether they give permission or not. He just stood for his convictions. He had to go through that, whatever the pain process. That means he knows that, even if they put me ashamed or put me to shame, I have to stand for it. So when you say afflictions of the gospel, it can be physically you have to take some pain, or in verbal terms, some other situations where your feelings will not have a great kind of good motivation to go for. But still, in terms of the testimony, when you say I want to be witness, I want to be testimony for the Lord, the feelings and other things has to be aside. Then we can be really a great witness. We know another example in the Bible is a little maid in Naaman's house. She did not worry about the kind of environment that around her, and she did not worry about her condition. She is just a slave girl in that house. But she knows that, we have great God. I want to be witness about it. So that's the reason she opened her. So don't need to worry about the convenience of the place also, or the condition about our things also. What we lost, she lost her parents, she lost her people. She did not worry about that one. She stood because she has that love, she has that sound mind. Thank God for it. If she doesn't have those things, she couldn't have opened her mouth. But today, why God has given us these three for us also to open our mouth or to stand for the convictions about the truth. As this word says, power, love, and sound mind. Let's take this as a challenge, this verse, and say that whatever the situations around me, now people say that so and so government, so and so, we may not be great witness. But God allows, because we know when we read the book of Daniel, we know the three Hebrew boys. The situations, the government is different, but they still stand. And the Daniel, he knows the situations are not correct for him, but still he stood to be a witness for God. So don't look for the comfortable zone to be a witness, but just have a convictions to be a witness in spite of your inconvenient situation, so that we can enjoy this great life of Christian life. May God bless this portion. Thank you.